Record to the class. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming in and being here, rewatching it. If you're rewatching it, I'm just gonna go over some summary notes and some of the laws that we've learned so far. I know that this week we're going to be doing chapters 1 through 14. I'm just gonna review right now 1 through 5. I feel like that's kind of where everybody's at, and then we can review from there. I of course like to keep the book club very inclusive and work with you guys, because I know that it is hard to manage reading this, reading anything, adding anything extra to your plate. So I'm along here for the ride with you guys. So the chapters that I wanted to review were 1 through 5, and those were basically the laws 1 through 5. It starts off with talking about the first law, which was never outshine your master. Real quick, let me get water and then we can go. Okay. Always make those above you feel completely superior. If your desire to please or impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite. Inspire fear and insecurity. Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are made, and you will attain the height of power. Basically, it's saying that if you make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, then you will attain the true power, being like you have the upper hand, right? When it comes to power, outshining the master is perhaps the worst mistake of all, because put it in perspective of a manager, right? A manager wants to keep their position. They don't want you to outshine them usually. A really good manager is one that's going to be there that's like, no, yeah, that's my team. That I trained them. I helped them. Woo, woo, they'll be rooting you on, right? But a lot of times we have to kind of read the room. Like, who are we playing with right now? And if it's a person that does not like their brilliance outshine, then they're going to want to take you out of that position. And a lot of times people can probably relate to this when, again, in the work position, I've had it where there have been people who are more competitive than wanting to collaborate, right? Like, why can't we get this done together instead of trying to figure out who's going to do it better so that they can get the credit? Never take your position for granted, and never let any favors you receive go to your head. That was basically what I got from the law number 1. Law 2 was never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. This one was let me read the contents real quick. Be wary of friends. They will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. They also become spoiled and cynical. Oh wait, that's not the word. Cynical. But hire a former enemy, and he will be more loyal than a friend, because he has more to prove. In fact, you have more fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. And this one, it says, but hire a former enemy, and he will be loyal than a friend, because he has more to prove. In fact, you have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find them and make them. Since honesty rarely strengthens friendship, you may never know how a friend truly feels. Friends will say they love you and love your poetry, adore your music, envy your taste in clothes. Maybe they even mean it. Often they do. The key to power then is the ability to judge who is the best able to further your interests in any situation. Keep friends for friendships, but work with skilled and competent. So this made me think, don't work with people who just because you know how they say don't work with family? When you start working with family, things start to go crazy, or friends, whatever, right? Because you have an emotional tie to that. When you work with people who are skilled in their profession and you're going there to be mentored by them, to learn from them, that emotion's really taken out from it because you're trying to gain something from it. So in this aspect, I really took that as not really saying don't trust the people around you, but really, hold on, whatever. Okay, don't trust the people around you. It's sometimes maybe your enemies might be the ones who can help you. The people who you're looking at going, they have everything I want, and you're like giving them the side eye, double question, like questioning everything that they have, like how they get that. I want that. How about you switch that mindset and being like, they have the things that I want. They must be skilled in things that I'm not just yet. How can I figure that out? So use people to that benefit of yours, because at the end of the day, friends, that's great. They're there to hype you up. Again, your poetry is amazing. I adore your music. I love that your taste in clothes. They're there to be your friends, not to give you that solid advice to get you to your goals. Law number 3 was conceal your intentions, keep people off balance and in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your actions. If they have no clue what you are up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Guide them far enough down the wrong path, envelop them in enough smoke, and by the time you realize your intentions, it will be too late. Used decoyed objects and desires and red herrings to throw people off the scent. Hide your intentions not by closing up with the risk of appearing secretive and making people suspicious, but by talking endlessly about your desires and goals, just not the real ones, not the ones that you're deeply trying to get to. Maybe just like the next step of what you're trying to get to, right? Because when we open up fully to people about our dreams and about our desires, about our goals, it's not meant for them. And so they're not going to see the true envision. They're not going to see the road downwards, right? They're going to be like, well, that's going to be hard. But if you tell them and you want to talk to them to help keep you feeling like we're still close, we're still communicating, talk to them about the little things that you're doing to better yourself, the habits that you're changing every day, right? Today I went ahead and made my food for breakfast tomorrow because I know tomorrow is going to be a busy day for me. Mondays are always busy. And then I thought about it a step further. I'm like, how much further can I get down on this meal prepping thing? But right now, that's the best that I can do. But I know what I'm going to do now, which to you, Sarah, since you're here and it is recording, I will tell anybody that is rewatching this. Okay. For me, my goal for that is, okay, food doesn't last that long in the fridge, right? So I should be making it for a couple of days at a time. So I'm thinking weekday and weekend, Monday through Thursday, I'll meal prep on Monday. So that way I have enough food for the week. And then or like Sunday night, right? And then Thursday night, when I run out of food, meal prep again for the weekend. So I'll meal prep for the week, meal prep for the weekend. And the food should be different and things like that, right? So I'm not like also eating the same thing. The food is still fresh. I'm not wasting anything. And I'm budgeting within like what I'm trying to use at the house. And also maybe I just need a few things here and there. So right now, that's the big goal. But am I going to tell everybody that? No. I'm gonna be like, you guys, guess what? I did something awesome. I changed my habit. I made this really cool overnight oats and the thing. Cool, Ashley. You know what I mean? They're not going to be like, well, you're not going to be able to meal prep. How many times have you tried that? You've been talking about that for years. And then I'm like, oh shoot, I have been. I'm not getting those. They're mine. Everybody's limiting beliefs. I'm just talking about my desires. You will kill 3 birds with 1 stone. You are appearing friendly, open, and trusting. You conceal your intentions, and you send your rivals on one-time consuming wild goose chases of what are you even talking about. Use smoke screens to disguise your actions. This derives from a simple truth. People can only focus on one thing at a time. It is really too difficult for them to imagine that the bland and harmless person they are dealing with is simultaneously setting up something else. Woo! That's crazy. I don't know why I said it like that. So anyways, super crazy is what I was trying to say, but it came out like that.
I love everything you're talking about. I did not know if I can interrupt you while we're doing a recording. Can I? Or
Yeah,
like,
that's
can I
fine
jump?
because I can
Yeah.
piece it together.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't
I
want to make
got
your job
editing
harder, but
skills.
okay. Well, no, yeah. Like, I really just really like how you put that together because I'm like, okay, Monday through Thursday and Thursday through Monday, Monday through Thursday, Monday through Thursday. Because food
Yeah,
you can prep on Monday, it'll last 3 to 4 days.
correct.
Normally anything, especially if it's all refrigerated or even in
Correct.
the freezer. If you cook it halfway through, you can freeze it even longer. You can do Dude,
Correct.
girl, you got a
Yeah.
whole thing going here, and it's not only budgeting, it's also a good dieting plan because you're only gonna
Yep.
put certain portions together. You're not gonna like
Correct.
have double the plates or I love it. I love it.
And
Love
that's
it
been
actually.
another thing too. I've been able to portion control, which has been helping me with my overall I'm gonna put you on, Sarah. She put us on the other day about good morning. Good morning is when you're, a sad thing, you're mourning somebody's death, right? Something sad. So we say good morning, it's not really a good thing. So she said grand rising, because you're rising up for another day and it's grand, right? And so I was like, bet, okay. And so right now what you're oh shoot, what was the word that you just used?
I said like
Diet.
you dieting.
Mm-hmm. Diet has the word die in it. So I no longer use the word diet because of that. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm living in what I can, I'm just living. Like I'm living the food that I know, right? So I try not to use that word too, just because like it's a mental thing. Like it's all mindset. Like to me, I'm like, okay, I need to literally just figure out what am I going to eat because for me, it was, I needed to focus on eating 3 times a day. I get so busy that I literally am like running on no fumes. I'm getting mad. I'm frustrated. I'm flustered. And then I start getting fatigue. I start getting tired. And I'm like, why? I'm like, because I never stopped to take those moments truly just to take care of myself. And it takes 30 minutes to literally whip something up real quick at the house, you know? But I'm like, how can I better that even more where I'm like excited about it? So every night I started off like this. Every night I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what I'm going to make tomorrow for breakfast. I can't wait to see what I'm going to figure out for lunch and dinner. I started to excite myself over these things. It's literally a trick and play on your own like mindset. And as I'm starting to do that, I'm like, ooh, I now start to see recipes in my house and I'm like, oh, I only need one thing. I could probably go to the store. And then I start to see it and I'm like, actually, I could probably get that flavor from this and da 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 da. So I'm just trying different things at the house. Like our our protein has vanilla in it, but I don't have any more vanilla. And I wanted that vanilla cake kind of flavor to my oats. So I poured a little bit in there and it gave it that like vanilla flavor. And I put some berries, I put some nuts, and I'm like, this tastes like a full on cake. Like, what? Like, it was really good. And so, just being excited and trying new things like has been really the game changer in my mind. I feel like I've been saying this a lot, but I've been feeling like I am living in right now the movie Yes Man. I'm saying yes to everything. I'm excited about it all. Nothing is going to bring me down. Like my pencil broke today, right? And I was like, oh man, that sucks. That's okay. My next pencil had no eraser. This one has a full eraser. Like it's the little things for me at this point. But it moves us into law number 4. Law number 4: always say less than necessary. When you are trying to impress people with words, the more you say, the more common you appear, and the less in control. Even if you are saying something banal, excuse me, it will seem original if you make it vague, open-minded, and questionable. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. This one really hit me because a person who cannot control his words shows that they cannot control their emotions. And I have always been told I always go off based off my feelings of things. And everybody's always told me, okay, yeah, we get it, your feelings and everything. Right. Okay. But I'm like, okay, they want facts. Like people want when you're bringing up how somebody maybe made you feel, you have to bring up facts. Like, hey, you don't treat people like this because it makes people feel like this. Like you literally almost have to take yourself out of it and put total fact into it. And that's one way that I kind of do it. I'm like, well, I mean, if I'm feeling like this, I'm pretty sure multiple other people have felt this way because I'm not the only person to think things like the way I think. Some things, yes, because they're meant for me, but that's another story for another day. But the human tongue is a beast, and that few can master it. It shows true power and strength when you can control these these things. Power cannot accrue to those who squander in those treasures of their own words. Power is many ways a game of appearance, and when you say less than necessary, you inevitably appear greater and more powerful than you are. Learn the lesson. Once the words are out, you cannot take them back. Keep them under control. Period. And the last law I want to go over is law number 5, which is so much depends on reputation. Guard that with your life. Reputation is a cornerstone of power. Through reputation alone, you can intimidate and win. Once it slips, however, you are vulnerable and will be attacked on all sides. Make your reputation unassassinable. Always be alert to potential attacks and thwart them before they happen. Meanwhile, learn to destroy your enemies by opening holes in their own reputation. Then stand aside and let public opinion, well, I won't say that word. I don't like that one. But let public opinion shame them. Let's just say it that way. Okay. It's old text, so some of the words are very interesting. So basically for this one, I felt like no matter what, if you have doubt is a very powerful weapon. If you doubt yourself in anything and who you are, people will come for you on that. For me, I know that I'm a dependable person and that you can rely on me for anything. Like my friends used to call me for things, them on the side of the street because their boyfriends left them, whatever it is. And I'm like, yes, sis, I got you. But if it was, it's so weird too, because it's like I almost knew when to answer the phone, but that's another story for another day. But I definitely was always dependable on that. And I mean, I feel like I could say I'm pretty reliable in the aspect too of you can come to me and I'm probably going to make you laugh because I have just a really good, like, positive personality and outlook. That's what I've been told my whole life. And I truly do feel that. And once I have found that confidence in myself, I now know I'm like, you can't tear me down. When people come questioning me for who I am, for anything, I mean, literally, I get questions on the weirdest things. I'm like, I mean, why am I going to get butthurt on this person that doesn't know me? And I know me. I know me. They don't know me. Even people who say that they do know me, they don't know me. I know me. And if my heart, when I do things, are true, you cannot fight it left from right. And that's what you have to lead with. Lead with a solid base of respect for yourself. And that will reciprocate with any opponent, person, whatever situation that you deal with. So anyways, that's kind of the first 5 chapters of what I've read in the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. If you are wanting to get in on these book calls, we do read-alongs a little bit on Wednesdays, and then on Sundays we go ahead and do a like overview of the chapters. And once it's done recording, we will go over of anything that we kind of like feel about anything, or how we related to the book or something along those lines. We kind of just open it up for chat. So it's pretty interactive book club. If you guys are interested, please let me know. I would love to get you guys into it. And yeah, talk to you all later. Okay, I'm going to stop recording 1 second.